Every man is born raw, untamed energy, scattered attention, undefined purpose. In the beginning, there is only instinct, the desire for ease, comfort, and pleasure. That is the nature of the boy. He chases what feels good instead of what builds him. He confuses freedom with lack of structure and emotion with direction. The boy wants recognition before mastery. He speaks of goals but fears the grind that makes them real. The shift begins when he realizes that chaos within creates chaos without. When he sees that the absence of self-control is the root of his pain. That is where transformation begins, when he no longer craves softness but seeks resistance. Because resistance, not ease, is the sculptor of men. Every great evolution starts in isolation. The process of transformation demands solitude because clarity does not thrive in noise. In silence, you confront yourself, the impulses, the excuses, the hidden fears that have shaped your identity. You realize that the enemy was never external. It was the voice inside that kept convincing you to stay comfortable, to postpone progress, to rationalize mediocrity. Discipline grows from that confrontation. It is not something you acquire from books or mentors. It is built through the quiet war between your desire and your duty. Every time you choose duty, you weaken the hold of your old self. That is how the boy dies and the man is born. Through repetition, through sacrifice, through self-command. Structure is the foundation of all freedom. Without it, you are enslaved by impulse. Discipline is not a cage. It is a framework that keeps you aligned with your higher vision. The man who lacks it becomes a puppet to his moods, pulled in every direction by emotion. But the one who builds routine becomes unshakable. He no longer depends on motivation because his system operates regardless of how he feels. Every morning, every repetition, every decision compounds into an identity. The disciplined man does not ask whether he feels ready. He acts because his standard demands it. That is how strength becomes second nature. Through systems so ingrained they replace uncertainty with rhythm. Pain becomes teacher, not punishment. When you train your mind to endure discomfort, you start to view struggle differently. Most avoid pain because they have been conditioned to believe it is failure. The disciplined see pain as refinement. Every setback, every failure, every delay is feedback, an opportunity to sharpen. Comfort dulls the blade, resistance owns it. The man who runs toward hardship gains a calmness others cannot understand. He stops flinching at challenge because he knows suffering shapes resilience. He becomes addicted to the lessons hidden within adversity. Pain becomes signal, not suffering. Every ounce of struggle teaches endurance, focus, and detachment, the ingredients of mastery. Accountability is the spine of transformation. You cannot evolve if you refuse to measure yourself against truth. Excuses are the language of stagnation. The undisciplined man blames the world for his failures, but the disciplined man holds a mirror to himself. He does not deny weakness, he studies it. He does not justify distraction, he eliminates it. Accountability demands that you become your own judge and executioner. That is not cruelty, it is precision. The man who takes responsibility for everything in his life gains control over everything in his life. Once you stop blaming others, you start building yourself. Responsibility is the heaviest crown, but it is also the only one that fits a man who leads himself. The battlefield of growth is the mind. Before you conquer anything external, you must win the internal war. The boy reacts to emotion, the man redirects it. The boy seeks validation, the man seeks alignment. Every thought is a weapon or a weakness. The undisciplined mind sabotages progress with endless comparison and self-doubt. The trained mind focuses only on what can be controlled. Meditation, journaling, reflection. These are not luxuries, they are armory. The more you understand your thoughts, the less power they have over you. Mental discipline creates stillness under chaos. When the world screams for your attention, your mind remains unmoved. That calm is where clarity lives. The modern world seduces men into distraction. Every convenience is a trap disguised as progress. Endless entertainment, empty achievements, cheap validation, all designed to dull the hunger for greatness. Discipline cuts through that illusion. It teaches minimalism of focus. It forces you to choose what truly matters and discard everything else. You stop chasing quantity and start refining quality. Every man must decide whether he wants to consume endlessly or create endlessly. The disciplined always choose creation because creation demands sacrifice, and sacrifice separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. You cannot build an empire while indulging every temptation. Simplicity becomes your greatest weapon. Isolation refines purpose, but service defines it. Once you've mastered yourself, discipline evolves from personal gain into contribution. The boy trains for approval. The man trains for impact. Discipline matures when it becomes about something greater than yourself. A mission, a principle, a legacy. You wake up not because you have to, but because others depend on your strength. That sense of responsibility adds gravity to your actions. It turns habits into duty and duty into identity. The disciplined man serves as an example, not through words but through presence. His life becomes evidence of what focus can achieve. The greatest transformation occurs when discipline turns into peace. You no longer chase the next milestone for validation. You no longer compare your journey to others. You simply act with intention and let results follow naturally. Discipline, once hard, becomes effortless. It becomes who you are. The external world loses its grip on you because your compass points inward. The noise fades, the chaos subsides, and you find contentment in mastery itself. That is when you know you've arrived, not at perfection, but at control. The boy once chased feeling. The man now commands direction. Dreams do not wait forever. They breathe, they age, and they die if neglected. Every vision you carry inside you has a window, a moment in time when the energy, the passion, and the alignment exist to make it real. Most men believe that window will open again, but it closes silently. The cruel thing about time is that it never announces its theft. It takes your chances quietly, while you convince yourself there's still tomorrow. One morning you wake up and realize the version of you capable of building the dream no longer exists. The fire faded, the hunger cooled, and the opportunity dissolved into memory. That is what time does. It doesn't strike like lightning. It erodes like water. It takes your potential drop by drop until nothing remains but regret. People talk about time as if it is a resource they control. They plan as if life will pause for them to gather courage. But time is the most unforgiving force in existence. It gives you everything. Then it demands it all back with interest. The dream you postpone does not wait patiently in the corner. It decays while you hesitate. The passion that feels eternal today will dull tomorrow. The energy you waste on distraction cannot be renewed. Every delay is a quiet funeral for the life you could have lived. When you grasp how fragile every moment truly is, you stop waiting for confidence and start moving with conviction. Time punishes hesitation far more severely than failure ever could. Dreams come with expiration dates because you change. The man who conceived the dream is not the same man 10 years later. You evolve, your priorities shift, your body ages, your heart grows weary. The opportunity that called to you at 20 might no longer exist at 35. Life does not freeze so you can catch up. The world keeps moving, and the dream that once fit you perfectly begins to outgrow you. Time does not care about fairness. It moves on without remorse. The tragedy is not that dreams expire. The tragedy is that people notice too late. They wake up one day realizing they traded purpose for comfort, ambition for routine, and hunger for habit. Most men do not fail because they lack talent. They fail because they underestimate how fast time moves. They assume there will always be more of it. They think tomorrow will look like today. That illusion is what destroys them. Time is deceptive because it feels generous while you waste it and merciless when you need it back. You blink and decades vanish. You blink and the people you wanted to make proud are gone. You blink and your energy is no longer what it once was. The cruelty of time is not just that it passes. It exposes what you did with it. The clock does not forgive, and the only mercy it offers is the chance to act now. To fight time, you must treat it as your enemy and your teacher. You cannot control it, but you can use it with discipline. Every hour is a battlefield. You either win it with focus or lose it to distraction. Every minute wasted compounds into years. The disciplined man knows this truth intimately. He plans his days with precision because he understands that time will devour the careless. The man who treats time as infinite dies with potential unspent. The man who guards his time as sacred dies fulfilled, even if he never reaches perfection. The difference lies in awareness. You do not conquer time by rushing. You conquer it by directing every action with intention. There will come a moment when you feel the weight of lost time pressing on your chest. You will look back and realize how many opportunities you dismissed, how many moments of inspiration you ignored, how many chances you talked yourself out of. That pain is not punishment, it is awakening. It is the realization that you can no longer afford to postpone your potential. Regret is the tax you pay for disrespected time. It collects with age, and the interest compounds daily. Once you understand that, you begin to live with a different urgency. You stop speaking about your plans like they are owed to you and start treating them as something you must fight for now. The illusion of more time kills ambition. Men delay their greatness because they imagine a future version of themselves who will be ready, disciplined, and fearless. That version never arrives. You do not become more ready with time. You become more comfortable with waiting. The man who starts now unprepared, uncertain, and afraid is the only one who grows into readiness. Waiting is the slowest form of death. The world is filled with men who had potential but not urgency. They believed the clock was kind. It never was. Every second you waste feeds the monster. Every action you take starves it. Time will strip everything from you. Youth, health, relationships, and strength. But before it takes them, it gives you the choice to use them. The cruel part is that most men only appreciate time after it has stolen what they loved. They treat time like an unlimited resource while it silently drains from beneath them. You cannot reverse it. You cannot bargain with it. You can only honor it by acting with precision. Every day spent building your vision slows its cruelty. Every day spent waiting accelerates it. The man who respects time becomes timeless in his impact. The man who wastes it becomes invisible in history. Dreams expire not because they lose meaning, but because life demands constant exchange. You must trade time for creation. If you do not, the dream rots while you cling to comfort. You cannot freeze your potential in storage and expect it to remain potent. It spoils like milk left unattended. You either use your time to nourish your dream or you watch it curdle into regret. Action preserves it. Indecision kills it. The clock does not care about your reasons. It only records results. Every man must decide whether his dream will age into reality or rot into memory. That choice defines legacy.